Afternoon, everyone. Just give it a couple of minutes of normal, starting at 4 o'clock. As it should, Zeph, Solly, good day to you all. A few more seconds and we get started. Right, okay. I'm just going to start off with the economic calendar, just to give you an update. As expected, 75 basis points increase in the euro interest rate. ECB increased it, so no big surprise there. Someone had to set the login. I'll just do it again quickly, just a second. So just give me a moment. Just repeat that. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So. Right. Okay. Yeah. Where were we? Yeah. So that was increased. Then the Americans came out with jobless claims, weekly jobless claims, not the non-farms. That's the weekly jobless claims come out. Okay. The actual was 217. The forecast is 220. So it's 3,000 less people claiming, which is good news. In other words, 3,000 less on welfare. And now the President Lagarde is speaking. She's the president of the ECB. and they just finished the press conference, just about to finish the press conference. She's starting about 2:15. And the GDP of the US came out at 2:30, 2.6% expected. So the gross domestic product was slightly better, which had a little bit of a nudge on the dollar, but rather a confusing nudge because the dollar strengthened and suddenly came off. So I think it's just a bit surprising that, because you'd think it would be good for the dollar, but it came off a bit, but it started to rise back up again. So as always, some of these fundamentals, different interpretations, how the big boys, the institutions react to them, and sometimes can be a little bit strange, shall we say. All right, so that's come out. So we've had a few trade ideas out today. Well, a few, had a lot actually. I think just about a record. We had 8 trade ideas out this morning. And if you, or 9 if you count the euro dollar, I had to be a bit careful on that one because yesterday was sent out as a buy and it did okay. But I think I was saying it's likely to reach a bit of a top there. So be rather careful, modify your stop or whatever. And I think it's going to come some downside, which I do. So that worked out quite well. Okay, we'll start with the S&P. We took a trade idea out this morning at 38.38. So as you can see, it's in a bit of profit there. You can see the red candle on the 1-hour chart coming off. So that's doing okay. It's a little bit modifying your stop to entry, but maybe you can just leave it where it is at the moment. Juice it a little bit if you want, but it's a bit too close to entry. But we can maybe drop below 3.8 during the course of this afternoon or even by tomorrow. Then you can drop your stop to entry, taking all risk out of the trade. So that would be nice. Okay, so that's doing okay. Now I'm going alphabetical order. The next would be the AUDCAD. We had that out as a sell this morning, 8787. That's now 20 odd pips in profit. What a pleasure. I still think 20 pips is a little bit close to put your stop in at entry. 20 pips, we've only knocked out the noise, so that's up to you. If you want, you can, but maybe you can reduce your stop a little bit. But putting it 20 pips behind entry is a little bit close. So you need a bit of for the noise to run around a bit. But whatever, it's 20 pips in profit at the moment. Let's hope it continues. It's bounced up a little bit in the last few minutes, but that big as it may, I think it might have a good chance of breaking through. Brent, as you can see on the screen there, is at 94.23. So that's been increasing oil price, which should strengthen the Canadian dollar a bit. So hopefully we'll get some more downside. So you can bring your stop down maybe a little bit to reduce risk, but a little bit entry a little bit close. But anyway, it's doing okay. So S&P and this one are nicely in profit at the moment. What was the next one we had out? AUDJPY, that was a buy, 94.35. Now that's 40 pips in profit. Therefore, you can modify your stop should you wish, and I advise you do that. It's all about risk reward, risk management, and equity management is very important. So it's battling the last 2 or 3 hours to break above there, but at least it's trying on that. That's a 50 times 1 hour moving average, clearly because you've got the 1 hour chart up there. I hope you all understand that. So yeah, you can modify your stop. We've got in round about the trading 35. So maybe round your stop up to 94.40. So you cannot lose in the trade. All costs are covered, and that's just fine. That's nice. That's doing just nice. Okay, so far so good. Next one was the AUD-USD. That was 64.72 and a sell. Not so pretty. It was doing okay earlier on. It's right down here, about 30 pips up just now. It's had decided the dollar for some reason this week, and I don't quite know why, but it's going back up again. So therefore, the AU dollar strengthened a little bit. I'm not sure how much going to be going on for, but the brings it may. It's pretty about that. It's nice in profit early on today. Now it's up a bit. So let that run. Hopefully it will pull back. Hopefully 65 round figure will hold, and it will down again. So slightly negative, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 in profit, and the fourth one is slightly down. So not so bad so far. Okay, the next on the list would be CADJPY. We got in at 107.28. Well, clearly that's 98. So that's 70 pips in profit. What a pleasure. Oh, if it did, it did. Well, I don't know. Okay, that's fair enough. That's fine. That's up to you. Okay. CAD JP White, 70 pips in profit. What a pleasure. Clearly, you move your stop now. I think 30 pips behind, make it 107, make it 107.65. How's that? Therefore, you built in a 30 pip stop. So whatever happens, you're going to do all right on that one. In fact, you do more than all right. You do very well. 65, that's about a 37 pip profit. Whatever happens, and you can continue up. Well, what a pleasure, and you just continue. We'll have another look if it's still in tomorrow, and maybe modify again northwards. So that's 4 out of 5 in the profit, just the one that's slightly down at the moment. Now, I'll probably go the next one, probably a bit down, NZDJPY, because the dollar suddenly came off a bit. We'll have a look. Remember I said about euro dollar earlier on? We'll put the 1 hour chart, which is now 4.321.12 11, around about this level here. Remember this morning I said I'm a bit worried about this. If you don't want to close it, some of you guys already have closed it, I take it. I'll modify your stop to make sure you cannot lose in that trade. That was a long sent out yesterday, and now it's come off, and I thought it might do, which it hasn't done. So let's just see how that goes at the moment. Right, NZD USD. It might have popped up like that. I'm assuming it would have done because the Aussie did. We'll have a look. NZD USD. 5840 was the sell. Yeah, it's popped up like the Aussie. Came right down to it. You broke the 58 at one stage. Nice in profit. If you're watching it and you modified your stop with it, you might have stopped out in a profit. That probably would have been 40. At that stage, you'd have been 55 pips in profit. You might have modified, so you might have been stopped out in a profit. If you weren't, it's slightly down now because the dollar's weakened, but it looks like it might go back up again. So if you're still in, hold it, and it might come to profit just now. Right. The next one we had was the, if I'm going too quick, slow me down. Sorry, guys. Do every day. I tend to go a bit quick. Sorry. US dollar, Japanese yen, 145.68. That's come off a bit. It was 146.90 at one stage today. What a pity. So some of you, again, might have modified your stock or even taken profit on that one as a nice day trade, and you would have done very well out of it. If you got out around about the 18, 90 mark, you made over 120 odd pips. What a pleasure in one day. Absolute pleasure. It's still in profit. I take that, but it's come off a bit. The dollar just weakened, like I mentioned half a dozen times just now. So I still think that's going to go back up. So you're in, stay in, you're in profit, and hopefully it will maintain again. Oh, no, gosh, it's just come off again now. I don't know what's happening with the damn dollar. Oh, no, actually, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing there. Look at the, what you call the yields in the wrong one. It's come off a bit. Now, the dollar's still a bit iffy, a bit indecisive in the last hour. Anyway, so what a pity. It's going up beautifully. So if you've been, I'm assuming some guys already take profit on that. But if you haven't, well, you're in profit at the moment, hope it'll recover and increase the profit. So if you're out, you're taking it, you should have done very well. Okay, the next one's our good old boring slow training. I'm not keen on that one, but we'll have a look anyway. Some guys liked it, so put it down. It's doing its funny thing, jump, moving snail space up and down. We got it 6:15. It's down a little bit, but looks like it might hold and pop up a bit and let that run. You might be in that for a while. Okay, and the last one was gold between 1666 and I want to get it at 1668. Didn't quite reach there, so we went for 1666, and it's gone up a little bit. It was down here earlier on today at 1655. Some guys might have taken it. Some might have modified the stop loss, whatever. But it doesn't matter because you're in profit anyway. So yeah, if you got it at 1666 or higher, then you can move it to entry. If you got it below that, it might be an idea to just hang fire for a moment or two. Although it might pop up. The yields are weakening. The dollar's come off a bit. It might move up a bit. So just be careful of that. In fact, it might be an idea to modify a stop close. Maybe 1663 or something like that. We'd hate to turn a winner into a loser. And it might, if those yields continue downwards and the dollar weakens a bit, we might have another run up on gold. So make sure you bank a profit, whatever happens. Okay, that's covered all 9 of the trades we had out this morning. And I mentioned the euro dollar, did write down, which had a long previously. but some guys might have shorted it or take their profit. So in a way, we had 10, of which all were in profit at one stage, and well, Engas about breaking even, not counting Engas. Now, a couple of them are slightly down simply with the dollar movements, but maybe we'll recover. But yeah, you might have a bit of a bounce on gold, simply for the reasons I've just given on the yields. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, all happy? Afternoon. Okay, any comments? Yeah, it's going up. I thought that might happen with the yields coming off. So make sure, for goodness sake, you don't take a loss of this one after bump up. Okay, guys, so that's not a bad game. Okay, pretty good. Trade's looking pretty good. And just see if we can get a bit more strength of the dollar coming through. I'd like to see that. The other two in profit, etc. So all in all, I think a lot of you guys who did take those trades might have actually exited the dollar trades anyway and sitting a profit. So all in all, I think we can say we haven't had a bad day so far today. Okay, finally, unexpected visitors. Is that right? That's good to know. Didn't anyone just pop round anymore like the golden old days where people just pop round? Yeah, nice to know. Good. Enjoy, Bonnie. Enjoy. Okay, so right, so we covered that. It's not too bad. Some of the earnings came out. You might be interested to know if we'd have done very well by shorting Meta. That's the old Facebook, Saselberg. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you shorted Meta, the earnings weren't as good as expected. That's the old Facebook. Remember, like we have Alphabet for Google, and that dropped on opening from about $130 down to about $100. So you'd have been smiling. $30 a share would have been your profit. It's a pity. I know we shouldn't do this, but for fun. If we'd decided yesterday to do it with a stop up here, in fact, being up mountain the training, I might have done. Stop up there, I might have actually done it. Around a $7 stop per share. That's about 100 rand or just over 100 rand a share. If you bought, let's say, even just 10 shares, you know what I mean? You'd have made $300 US. It's about $5 grand. You know what I mean? So pity about that. Anyway, that's being as it may. I'm not sure I'll chase some of the others. I think Microsoft's come off a bit as well. I'm not sure I'd be chasing it down there. As you can see, it's a bit indecisive. Baba's the one I wanted to chase, but I think I missed it yesterday because, of course, I had that electric problem the whole bloody day. It's off for about 24 hours. So unfortunately, my inverter ran out of battery, and so as a result, I didn't have internet, so I couldn't do the Zoom. So this is what happened. I'd like to put a bit of a short on this one, but is it still worth doing? I'm not sure. What's the Nasdaq? I think leave it for the moment. The yields coming off is good for the Nasdaq and the shares. You might get a bit of a pop up. So maybe we'll just keep an eye on that one and keep an eye on the Nasdaq. And the dollar seems to decide to come off again for whatever reason, best be known. Not quite sure why. Good jobs report coming out and the jobless, and GDP not bad. I thought it might strengthen the currency. Anyway, surprise, surprise. Okay, that being as it may, maybe the euro strengthening a bit, which the euro is the large part of the biggest part of the DXY in that basket of currencies. Maybe that's got something, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, so I think just hang 5 on that. Right, we've discussed all those. Right, anything else you want to go over? Anything else you'd like to discuss? Hi, Lorenzo. I see you there. Anything else you'd like to chat with us about? Any trades you've done you want us to look at? Anything like that? Any of the new guys, don't forget, anything I'm talking about you're not sure about, for goodness sake, please say so, and then I can clarify. I come to training rooms to learn the practical aspects and the tools you need. And because a large amount of theory is always done, but we want to put that theory into practice and try and simplify it and get rid of some of the too many indicators. We don't want to have it over paralysis by analysis. So yeah, I'm getting stuff set up nicely. If you like anything we set up here, you want to know anything about it, and you want to copy it and don't know how, I can show you. Any questions? Like Sephora was in here, was asking about, I want to make sure we're clear on that. No, we don't do a quick trade, but stock grabbing is when big institutions move the price down because they see all your stocks there to grab that and then move in the right direction. We're not big enough to do it anyway, to be honest, but some guys, big guys do it because it's transparently put the stock into the market, but that brings away. That's why I often like a reasonable stop. If you put it too close, often that's going to happen. Then you get to call it stock grabbing. But the point is, these questions you're asking, I can show you. Some guys ask me on live chat questions, and I said to them, I can't explain a live chat. It's too limited a medium for explaining it. You need to do platform training or a class or the practical platform. Training room where where I can go through it on Zoom with the chart in front of me and explain it clearly so you understand. For some of those questions, I can't explain that. How do you do this, or how do I do that, or what's the lot size? How do you determine that? On the chat line, that's not what the chat line's for. Okay, so okay, no problem, Lorenzo, no problem at all. I am not sure. I am not sure. I'm sorry. What do you mean? I am not sure. you need to give some more data than that. Look at, yes, we did. We looked at all the trades we had in this morning. Don't know if you're with us this morning, Pete. We got in at one, it's just week and a bit, doing very well. A lot of guys took their profit already. It was a day trade, in fact. 145.68, you went at 140, one stage today, put on the hourly chart. Yeah, one stage today, it went up to 90 on. So I think a lot of guys would have grabbed that. Once you see it come off, I doubt it's what's their profit go away by 100 pips. So the guys who are in it, I think almost certainly the pro trading Marines would have probably taken the profit on that. If anyone's still in or busy and didn't check it or whatever, well, there it is. It's still in. I wouldn't join it now, morning, but hopefully it will bounce back up again if you're still in. S&P, again, that's not doing too badly. It might have popped up, it jumps around, as we all know. We got in, what are we going on at? 38.38. There's S&P, 38.38. Oh, jump back up again. Bloody all over the side in place. We looked at it literally about 15 minutes ago, and it was down here. Now look at it, jumping around. So for in profit is slightly down, but that's the S&P for you. So I don't know what your name is, got Huawei there. It says, I am not sure. Please, what's that supposed to mean? I've had that before. Guys will say, should I exit my trade? Not should I got in the US dollar, euro US dollar at 1.1. I'm modified my stop. It's coming off. Do you think I might be an idea to increase or something like that? No. So should I exit my trade? Or I say, well, what trade? You know? So I need a bit more information than that because I am not sure about a lot of things, especially a lot of medical terminology. Okay, so all right. Anything there you'd like to go over? Anything you're not sure about? Specify it and explain. Whilst I'm doing that, I'll do my normal story of copy and pasting important stuff for you. First of all, I'm going to copy and paste the DXY. I want you all to save this. You've got to have it minimized and sorry, minimized. What the hell? Sorry, just do this again. Just give me a moment, guys. Sorry about this. If you see anything, just write it down. Just give me a moment while I do this job. Right, the first one's the DXY. For those guys who don't have it, that's the dollar index made up of 6 currencies, 4 majors in that. Yeah, give me a minute, I'll do something else. Why do you keep doing that? Right, the first one I'm going to put down here is the, sorry, it keeps giving me the Zoom ID. What's doing that? Right, the first one I'll do is I've got a couple of problems here. I'm trying to sort it out. Okay, this is the economic calendar. I filled it for you. Copy, save it clearly. This one is the yield on the 10-year US 10-year Treasury note. Copy, save it. And this one here. This is the DXY. Just give it a moment to come through because I've got a glitch there. Right, guys, sorry about that. The system here. So there we got the 10-year note. We've got the US DXY, which is the index. Make sure I've got it set up properly. And then the economic calendar. You must all have that. Keep it handy to refer to, minimize your laptop. Okay, right. This is the position size calculator. You get in the live chat if you want. You must have it. You've got to have that. If you can't work out the volumes, you can't trade. So it's absolutely imperative. Okay, so that is for everything except US shares. US shares, what you do is you have an Excel spreadsheet in your LMS. So that you get from the live chat, go to technical support for that calculator. Okay, this is the 50 and that's the 200. Please have it, everybody, on your charts. This is the 10-day. If you like, you can put that on as well. This is a must. This is your choice. All simple moving average. 10, 50, 200. Go to that, put in your chart, and then go right and then go to templates and save the template in any name you like, and then save it. And then say if you have any problem, and you lose a chart, just go back to templates. And there you have them all saved down there, once you save. Okay, okay. Okay, I hope that clarified a few things you guys. Not sure of. Hello, Montebeco, it's good to have you. Hope your sister arrives soon. Zanelli, I think her name is. Yeah, we just started. We've gone through a few trades. We'll probably go back to them just now, which we did this morning, and we'll check on them again later on. Refer back to them. Okay, so it didn't come in a few moments ago because if you see the chat what you do, the rules of the room, you can put up the chat line, you can chat on that, or you can unmute and chat on that if you like. I've just put up there 3 links. You need to keep those, okay? Save them and keep them. You see on the chat line, save them and keep them. Well, it refers to the economic calendar, the dollar index, and the yields on the 10-year note. Very important to assist you in your trading. Okay. Right. It's a trading session. So anyone's got any trades they want to look at or suggest, we can go through it, and I do a quick analysis, and hopefully we all put our little bit in there and all learn from it. That's the idea. It's very important you interact. If you're not sure about something, don't sit there and remain unsure. That's just crazy. You ask, and I'll try and obviously clarify as best I can. And some of the other guys might assist as well. I've seen that before. We all pull as a team here. So like a good team, marine trading team. Sorry. Thank you. Someone's on the ball. Thank you very much, Tibo. Thank you. Okay, so you got all 3. So I doubled up. Brilliant. So, you are going to get typos. So you got to read the signal, the trade ID, and all that thing. Make sure you read it properly. Don't just jump in, because sometimes you typo. I'm a thing of France just left now, where I kept looking at the NZD JPY, I mean the NZD USD. And of course, it's completely ridiculous because one's 85, then one's 0.5, yeah? Typos, things like that. Okay, right, S&P 500 taking a bit of a jump. So guys in it this morning, hold on, they might have taken profit. I don't know if you came off of it. I shouldn't think so, wouldn't be my point. Came off, I still see it got downside. So new guys who went in this morning, here's a trade you might want to do. Put up position size calculator by double clicking. This moves like this moves, so that's the beauty of it. We're not going to go along, so you click on the short, and then we're going to put the stop loss in, which is the same as this morning, 39.30. 39.30. And then the TP we got down to 3665. So if you're not in, you can join that one if you like it. I see a short on that one. As you can see, this is a 50-day moving average, seems to be holding. If you want the currency strength immediately, remember, I'll talk about pivot points just now as well. The only thing you've got to remember with it is one's on lagging indicators, but I'll certainly copy and paste it for you. Okay, so what that means is 140 Rand is your risk for 0.01. If you've got a dollar account, that's about $8. So let's say you've got $1,000 account. You'd probably want to risk no more than maybe, what's 10% of $1,100? Maybe no more than about $30, $40. $2,000 account, maybe $50, $60. You get the general idea per instrument. Okay, so if that's $8 and you want to risk, let's say 50, 8 goes into 50 6 times. So therefore your position size would be 0.06. Did you get my point? So that's how you work it out. Very, very important. In fact, it's not very important, it's absolutely imperative, vital. It's the biggest killer of all traders, is holding on, no stop losses, overexposed, until that one that goes bad wipes out all the profit from the 10 good guys. See all the time. Don't fall into that trap. You will take a loss. Sorry, guys, it's a fact. You will take a loss. That's a guarantee. So you need to make sure the loss you take are made up for by the profits that you make, not the other way around, which most people do. So they cannot take the loss, they hold on, and they find themselves in the financial dwang. And here's the risk, quite a good risk, 2.5 to 1. If it gets there, don't forget, if it comes off, you can modify your stop until you get down to where your stop is actually better than your entry. So if something goes wrong, it bounces up, like look up and down. Look, this is the noise, up and down. You'll be stopped out of the profit. Very, very important. And please don't ask me on the live chat or WhatsApp, how do I modify a stop? Nobody should be trading if they don't know how to operate the platform. It's like getting car and drive and not knowing how to change gear. It's dangerous. So you've got to know how to modify your stop, how to cut your position, how to exit. You've got to know how to operate the platform. These are the basics, okay? Yeah, sorry, well, there you are there. Because it's totally psychological. That's why I try to get people off trading on the demo, because it's worse than useless. Because if you take the emotion out, you take out about 70, maybe +% of trading. Trading is very much about how the emotion affects the brain. And we cannot accept a loss. It's got to come back. So you move your stop away, and sometimes add to a losing position, expecting it to bounce until suddenly, when you shouldn't be more than 3, maybe 4, 5% of your entire balance risk on one trade. I've seen 50, 60 more % on one trade in the negative. Still no stop, too scared to take the loss, hoping it's going to turn, praying on their knees, and it's still going in the wrong direction. And it was a bull, now it's a bear, and it continues in that direction. Then they're upset, they're down, and they lose interest and all sorts. And that's purely because they couldn't overcome the emotional fact that you are going to take a loss. Nobody likes it, but you want to minimize that loss, not maximize it, which for some reason we tend to do. Okay, as Sadia mentioned there, just about everyone does it for some reason, all the time. Our emotions give us love, but also give us a lot of hassle and irrationality as well. You can't control them, that's what it's brought into us, but at least you can understand them and try and control them to a certain extent anyway. Okay. All right. Okay, where were we? Okay, so that's the S&P. If you want to join it, you missed that earlier on, or you weren't with us, there's your chance for a trade. Okay, hope that's all clear. If anybody doesn't know how to work the position size out, position size out, please ask, because there's absolutely, you cannot trade if you can't work out the volumes, which is impossible. And that's not our job, it's your job to know how much compared to risk to work it out. We're here to advise, we're not trading on your behalf. Very important. You're learning to fish yourself. We're not doing the fishing for you, as I say. You know what they say? Teach a guy to fish and feed him for life. And they say in the parables anyway, until the fish runs out. Okay, moving along, that's just S&P. Yeah, we had a few other trades out. I hope the dollar's recovering a bit, and look at my other screen. Anything happening there on the dollar? Yeah, it's coming off again now. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this damn thing. It's been quite nice early on at 110.50. It's now just dropped below 110 now. Don't know what the sudden cause of dollar weakness is. Maybe losing its safe haven attraction. Very, very interesting. Especially the jobless claims were quite good. The GDP was quite good. The only thing I can think it means is they might temper interest. I think it's next week coming out, or the week after. It's next Wednesday, don't quote me, when they're going to have an interest rate, and maybe it was almost certainly going to be 75 basis, but it might start saying we're a bit more on track than thought, and only 50%, sorry, 0.5%, 50 basis points, slight difference, be increased, which would then not strengthen the dollar, and the expectation of that slightly less increase or curtailing some of the increases would therefore weaken the dollar. But that good news having the opposite effect. Sounds a bit sort of convoluted, that, but have you got some idea what I'm talking about? The interest rate expectation strengthen it if they can think that they won't have that interest rate or taper that interest rate, then it will weaken the dollar. I think that's the expectation. I think that's why maybe the dollar came off after those figures. Okay, because the figures were good. So it makes it surprising that's how it works. So it's a bit of a pity because they're all flying. So the guys who took the morning trades in the dollar, in theory, if you moved your stop loss, we teach in the trading room, you'd be out in profit in all of them. You've been out of the dollar, AUD, USD, into DUSD, and certainly you should have been out of USD Japanese yen by now, in a healthy profit. Last thing I want to be 120 pips up after a few hours and then watch and see it all fly off. So hopefully you had the sense to take your profit on that. Okay, so there's some pretty good trades come out. Gold probably bouncing up. I'll be very surprised with this, and so I hope you took your profit there and didn't hold. Let's come back off again. Well, there you are. Sometimes go figure, eh? With the dollar coming off and the yields, what's the yields doing? Let's just check again. The yields coming off again, I think. So now. Wait, it comes out to reboot it. Sorry, got stuck there. Yeah, the yields have come off as well. That surprised me. The yields come off quite a bit, from just under 4.1% to 3.98. That is coming off. That's good for gold. Dollar coming off. That's DXY coming off. Good for gold. So why is gold not higher up? I thought it might be shooting up again. Well, if you short it like we were this morning, that's good news. I have to say, very strange. Not quite sure why. I'm very wary of that. I think it could move up. So if you got in at 1666 or better, make sure you don't lose in that trade. Bring it down below that figure. So whatever happens, you're going to make a profit. So I don't know why I haven't jumped up suddenly. To be honest, very surprising. With that coming off, should in theory have a bit of a jump. We might still do it. Not say suddenly buy it, but I think it might move up a bit. Okay, so make sure you don't use that trade. So another one we can make was a nice one for this morning. Okay, CAD JPY. Remember, as a newer guys, Brent is quite high at the moment. That's Brent oil. You have WTI, Western Texas Intermediate oil. So if oil goes up, remember Canada is a producer of oil and Japan is an importer, and oil's paid in dollars. So it increases the dollar strength, sorry, it can increase the Canadian currency, and should, in theory, weaken the Japanese, which it has. So we got in this morning at 107.28. It's now 70 pips in profit. What a pleasure. It was even higher earlier on today. So as mentioned earlier on, those who took this trade, move it up to, I think it's 107.60, if I mentioned it properly. And then you can't lose in the trade. You'll make a profit, whatever happens. I personally think it might battle to get through 108. Often does happen doing that. Round figure, profit taking, don't forget, guys. Round figure is a psychological area of profit taking, purely psychological. It might be a few guys taking profit. Remember, if you're taking profit on a buy, you're selling, which pushes it down. You hear me talk about short covering bounce, because when you're selling short, you buy to exit. So on a long, buy long, sell short. The buy long, your stop loss, yes, sell TP, there are sell orders. On your short, these stop loss and TP are buy orders. So if you're shorting it and you see the support coming in down there, or resistance in this case, people take profit, they buy, and you get a bounce. So you might get a bit of a profit-taking retracement on that. Having said that, you can maybe move it up to 107.60, or even 107.70, up to you. Then whatever happens, you make a handsome profit. And if it continues up, you're still on board and making better profit. So put that down to another trading Marines, good one. Okay, AUD JP and AUD CAD. Just want to check to see if it's worth moving it on that one. It's only 20 pips in profit. I think it might be a little bit quick to move it. Seems to be coming off. If you can drop below, maybe another 10 pips down, you can drop your stop loss to entry, so you cannot lose on the trade. See where I'm coming from, you guys? How you got to use them, protect yourself. A lot of it's common sense. It takes a bit of practice. You first hear it. It's common sense after all. It's not. This is not brain surgery stuff, you know. So there we are. So that's not too bad at the moment. Okay, and the AUD JPY is enough profit, so you should have modified that as well. And yeah, I still think it could get some upside here. The 50-day moving average is holding. Came back to retrace. I think it could bounce back up again. Do I want to be chasing it here if you're not in? I'm not sure about that. We got in at down this sort of level here. We're in profit, 25 pips in profit. We'll come back a bit. I'm not sure I'll be chasing it now, but some of you guys might have been stopped out in the profit. But so if you're not, hold on to it. But I'm a bit wary of you chasing it now. Had a bit of a long chit chat there. I hope it's not too quick. I hope you understood it. If you're not too sure, just say so. It's important. All learn. Even if it's a bit of a yawn for the experienced guys, it's important. Remember, you started someplace as well. So we want to give everybody a bit of a hand. We want to encourage them to come more often, not get bewildered. See a few familiar places there, a few familiar names, I mean. Okay, right, I've covered that little lot. Not too bad. So there we are. Anybody who didn't join this morning, NGAS is very slow. It's a bit iffy. We've had a slightly warmer winter in the Northern Hemisphere, especially Europe, than normal. So on NGAS, they use it a lot for heating. So clearly it didn't shoot up as much as expected, but I still think it's got some upside. Just remember, if you're going to do this, you might, if you've got a small amount, leave it. You don't be tying your capital up so you can't trade in other, because your money's in this one. Why do you wait? Because you could be in this one for a while. As I say, we had one in before as a sell. We used 9, hit the TP, 6 something or other. Was it 7? I can't remember. But it took 6, I think 6 odd weeks to do it. I'm not saying you'll take 6 weeks every time, but yeah, it can be a bit slow, which is fine as long as you can have enough money, have that working away in the background where you keep other money for other quicker trades. Don't forget, do not touch the NASDAQ as a first-time trader. It's too volatile. And even if you're inexperienced, do not touch it on accounts less than 5 grand. It is too volatile and you need the stops are far too wide. The risks are too high on small accounts. 200 pips, the barest minimum on the NASDAQ. It's a big deal on the Forex, but the NASDAQ is the minimum 200, sometimes bigger, which means we're talking at 350 to 400 rand risk for 0.01. So unless you've got 5 grand upwards, it's too big a percentage of your balance. So don't touch it. That's why I quite like the S&P, because everyone from big accounts and medium and small accounts can do it. Always remember, if you've got less than 1,000, it's always going to be an uphill. If you can put more money in, you're doing yourself a favor, because you cannot diversify. I mean, we got 9 trades out today on 5, 6, 7, 800. You only really do one. If you go more, you're overexposed. You can get margin call. So you've got to pick one. You might pick the wrong one. If you've got a decent sum in there, you can do all 9, and you'd be smiling. So it's a business. You need capital. Don't come to me. I'm not trying to sell you something here. If you do or don't, that's your choice. I'm just saying to you, fact, I've done this for a while. And if you're undercapitalized, it's like anything in business. If you don't have enough funds, it's always going to be tough. Just bear in mind, if you got the funds, great. If you haven't, you've got to start somewhere, that's fine. But don't think you're going to make money on the price of a meal out in a restaurant. You know what I mean? It's just too small. Bear that in mind for your own sake. Common sense. Right. Okay. So if you want to do NGAS, anybody, a bit slow, I'll put the calculator up for you. CAD JPY did okay on. What was the other one we had? I think we covered them all there. Okay. Is the dollar still coming off? Which is a bit disappointing. If you don't have any other break trade ideas, I can spend a few moments if you want. If you're busy or look at something else, entirely up to you. I'm here to educate and help you, not to bore the bloody pants off you. You did a sell on NGAS. Well, it's up to you. Might come off. I'm not saying you're wrong. I think I personally feel on the long side, but it might come off. But I don't know if you took any trade this morning, Petro. If you did, you should be okay. Oh, well done. Well done, Petro. You should be doing okay because, as I say, you've learned enough now that to modify. So dollar, yen, and those you should have been out by now. I would have been definitely saying to you, get out of it when it got up to the round figure there, 120 pips in profit, especially see it coming off, rather take the thing. If it breaks through and go in again, rather see all that money come off. I think Adele was driving today from Cape Town, so she missed all this. Never mind, now I'll choose for her. Okay, ECB just pointed out there, flashed across on the screen. That's Lagarde. Remember, she is the president of ECB, and the chairman of the Fed. Very important, even more important, Jerome Powell. And Lagarde says they're going to start tapering and pulling back on interest rates going forward. Just so you know that, okay. Just out of interest. God, she must have driven like the bloody wind. Wow. Wow. I thought she might even stop overnight. Sure, I'm not sure I'm impressed or scared. She could have had a shot. She must have driven like the bloody wind. What is that distance? It's like 1,200 Ks, isn't it? God, that's some moving. Yeah, good for her. Maybe she should be the. We need a female South African in Formula One. Maybe she can take up the job. Get it to Kyalami. Anyway, moving along. Right. So the other, I don't know if you took the profit from the other ones with the US dollar. It's up to you. But anyway, again. Okay. Right. Anything you want to discuss, you can. If not, would you like me to show you pivot points? Any interest to you? Because there could be a short-term area of support resistance which are down for you. Would you like me to show you that? Unless you've got trades that come first, you can, if you have an interest. You know, I'm not going to bore you, you know, it's up to you. Would you like to see that? I know some people ask about them, and people work them out. The pre-run calculators, what the hell for? I do not know. It's done for you. All right, I'll do that. Anyone doesn't, please tell me. I'm not here to bore you, okay? So I do it unintentionally, sorry if I do. Right, I'm just going to stop the share. And what I'm going to do now is just give me a second, go back, show you how to do it. Just give me a moment here, just be patient. Just set it up. Right, share the screen. Where's it going there? All right. I'm just going to shift it across the screen. Can you see investing.com? Can you see it on your screen? Just need to know that because we might be looking at the wrong screen. Can you see it? There should be like a couple of bloody anoraks up there. Broken mental cell, whatever the advert is. Can you see it? Great, good stuff. Right. Right, this is the landing, never mind the adverts, obviously, this is the landing page, right? So you go to investing.com, okay, simple as that. Investing, why is it not in there? Anyway, that's the wrong one, you idiot. Where is the website? Why is it there? Anyway, it's investing.com to website. See if I can copy and paste it for you. Hang on. Easy enough, but I'll do it anyway. Give me a moment. Where was it? Oh, that's right. Yeah. Just give me a moment. Wrong one. Sorry. Concentrate. Try to speed things up. And pressing the wrong button there. Right. Simple as that. Investing.com. I'll copy and paste, make life easy for you. Copy, paste. Right. That is the landing page. As you see on here, it says the American flag. If you just rest the cursor on there, you don't have to click on it, just rest the cursor on there. You get English, South Africa, English Australia, Canada, India, UK, Nigeria, Philippines, Spanish, it turns you on, even Bahasa Indonesia, or Chinese, there you are, it's all there. Anyway, never mind that. You go to the American one, see the flag. That's your landing page. It'll take you there. Copy and paste that to your landing page. We're all there, guys? Have that ready to rock and roll. Right. Now, I'm going to put a bit of pressure on you guys to give me a tiny bit. Give me an instrument. I see the name Philip, Tebo, or Petro, or anybody. Give me an instrument. It doesn't matter. It could be dollar yen. It can be S&P. It doesn't matter. Give me an instrument you'd like me to have a look at the pivot points on. And I'll choose that one. Just copy it down there. Just wait for you to do that. Yeah, well, that's GBP USD. See, it's very simple. Search the website. And what do? Well, you put in GBP USD. Surprise, surprise. There we go. GBP USD. See, it's there. Well, what do you do then? This is real brain surgery stuff, this, isn't it? Hey, you click on it. Hey, there's all sorts of information on there. You've got to look through it, actually. Right. US 30 is the Dow. That's the S&P. And the NASDAQ, which is the NASDAQ here, as you know. One spot and one is the futures. Don't forget that. Now, as we come down there, you have a chart. So you've got another chart in there. If you want to put the candles up, you click on candles. That's a 15-minute. You want to do an hour, there you are. You got your candles, that's your chart. If you want to get a proper streaming chart, you go down further. What the hell is this now? Oh, that's a bit better. Yeah, that's right. If you want a streaming chart, you can go there and have a streaming chart and set it up like your own. Okay, so you have two charts, no problem at all. That's what I have on DXY and the US yields. Just from here, went on the chart and saved it, and I've copied and pasted for you guys. So far, so good. Right, pen and paper hands, you don't forget this. Landing page, go to search the website, put your instrument of choice in there, and then when you've done that, you go to technical. You see technical analysis, got it? Click on it. Play around it, you got all sorts of candlestick patterns and goodness knows what. It's all there, free. In fact, I think it's a felony to say the word free in Joe Rogan, but I've just said it. Okay, so now let's scroll down. First of all, hour's no good to you, so we put on the daily. Right. It says a strong buy. Well, you think, well, what a pleasure. They do all the technicals for you. You don't have to bung all these technicals on, does it for you. The moving averages, there's 12 in all, and there's 9 technical indicators on the mix. Scroll down, it tells you what they are. See all these technical sort of moving averages, you can see them all there. And simple and exponential. So all of them, they add them all up, they find all those buys and false sells. They go the technicals, overboard, let's follow and buy. So therefore, they're saying on the daily, GBP USD is a strong buy. So why don't you can't see anything you're doing? Can nobody see what I've been doing? Oh shit. I'll share again then. Where are we now? Maybe showing the wrong screen. Okay, I think I was showing the wrong screen. Okay, I'm going to go back and do it again. Can you see here GBP USD technical analysis? I need to tell me that. Can you see that? Yes, good stuff. Sorry about that. Okay, right. I'm going to go back and start again. Well, that's a bit stupid, wasn't it? I've copied and pasted the link for you. So I'm going to just go back and do that. Well, I'm going to go back. Let's get back now. Good. So what you do is that's the landing page. Also, weekly jobless claims tells you there. All this comes out here. Right. Once you've done that, okay, you see at the top there, search the website. So you put in the one we talked about, GBP USD, you write it in. We've already done it, so it does it for you, right? Click on it. Search the website, put any of your choice. You just have to do the pound dollar because that we call it cable because that was required. So put that in there, and then this one comes up, as you can see here. Now you've got a chart there if you want to use that. Maybe you can go candlesticks and put on the daily or hourly or whatever you want to do. It's up to you. Anyway, then what you do then is you can put a streaming chart in, interactive chart, whatever you like. News on that specific instrument. If you want some news, analysis, and opinion on it, on the pound dollar, oh, there it is, all for you, all free of charge. But this we're talking about pivot points. So we're going to technical analysis. Okay, so you click on that. Play around with it in your own time. Okay, solid. Catch you tomorrow morning. Remember, there's no afternoon show on Friday. Don't forget, only in the morning. Right, pound dollar. Right, like I mentioned, it comes up in an hourly. That's too short. So you click on a daily. That's just common sense. Get rid of the video. You're not worried about that. And then what? You go down and it says to you, strong buy on the daily. Why is that? Because the moving averages, 8 out of 4 of them are buys, and on the technical, there's 9 are buys. Okay. What are those technical indicators? It tells you whether it's strength, stochastic, MACDs, average daily range, winning percentage, consolidated channel indicator, average true range, high lows, RSC bull, blah, blah, blah. You can see it there, okay? So 9 out of there says a buy, and I think it's 8 out of the 12 of the moving averages saying a buy. So they worked it out for it's a strong buy. You say, job done. Why are we coming to classes? Just go there, free of charge. But here we go. The problem is they're lagging indicators. Just remember that. And sometimes it might be getting overbought, getting near resistance. You're thinking of getting out of it. And actually, because it's risen from somewhere to get to the resistance. Clearly, if it starts at the floor, you'll be getting out of the ceiling. Well, obviously, it's going to say strong buy because indicators are seeing the movement upwards, obviously. So it's not quite as good as it seems. But it might give you a better view on a weekly. So sell on a weekly, get the idea. So it's of interest in a backup if you want. But just remember, it's lagging indicators, and the very strong buy often comes in when you think you might be taking a profit, a bit late to join. More of the point, we're talking about pivot points. What's a pivot point? It just takes the previous day's highs, divides it all up, and gives you certain figures. Simple as that. Right. Instead of going to the theory behind it, not sure you're bothered, it does it for you anyway, so don't worry about it. It's done it for you. There's different ones there, Camera, Woody, Classic. I think just use the Classic, good enough. So just use the Classic one. If you're not sure, ask. I'm going too quick. Say so. This is quite important because it gives you shorter periods of support resistance. So use the Classic. It says resistance on this one is 1.7 if you're going long. 1.1492 would be your support level. So that's your resistance support level. The point should be somewhere in between. So if you're going short, you'd be aiming at that. If you're going long, you're aiming at that. And that breaks that, that breaks that. So that's resistance 1, 2, 3, support 1, 2, 3, clearly. So let's get back to the chart. You won't be able to see it because obviously I've got this up. What's the price of GBP USD as we speak? You can probably do it on your own chart anyway. So this. Right, it's 1.1579. Okay, I'm not sure strong buy or not. It's going to continue this strength. It might do. I'm not sure I'll be shorting this yet, but I think the pound's a bit overcooked, to be honest. But that being that may, the next resistance at 1.7. You get the idea. Very useful. Happy. Do you want to do another one to look at? Maybe look at the S&P. We've got that going. S&P, we've got that one going. There we are, or US 500, whatever you like to call it. Some platforms call it US 500. Okay, just wait for it to come up, and then we just scroll down to the pivot points. Put on the daily. Strong buy, but not sure that's because it's come up a bit lately. But I think it might have a bit of a turn here. So those are your pivot points. If you want to go short, you might be looking at that as your stop loss, and that's too close. You need to have a TP somewhere down there. But anyway, there you can see some areas of support resistance. Cheers, Jerry. Right. So there's some value in that. Play around it, and it's nice to have it handy, and then you can check it. And then you can look at some analysis, see what we've got to say about it. Let's look at some analysis, want some news. Make sure you check the date, it might be out of date. 5 minutes to go. A lot of the stuff they put on there, that it tells you that it's jumped. Well, thanks very much. I know it jumped and come off. Some news there, maybe some analysis and opinion. Get the general idea. Hope this is some use to you. Okay, there's some interest there. All right, so there's your pivot points. where short-term support resistance all worked out for you and even do all the technicals for you. Makes life a lot easier. Happy with that, guys? That's correct. You can't. If it was as simple as that, you wouldn't have a market card. Nothing as simple as that. You wouldn't have a market. Remember, every time you buy something, somebody thinks you're wrong. They're selling it. Every time you sell something, people think you're wrong. That's why you're selling it, and they're buying it off you. It's as simple as that. Strong buy. You wouldn't be able to buy it because nobody's selling. So that's it. It's just a guide. It's all it's like the heat map. Same thing. It's a guide based on technical indicators which are lagging. I'm going to go stop the share now and come back to it if you want. It's quite useful, very useful, in fact. It's going to stop the share quickly. Go back to the chart. Hope we've got the right chart here. Do you see the chart? You need to tell me that. I might put the wrong one up and be rattling away and can't see it. Can you see the chart all right? Okay, good. Right. Now, it's gone up from here to here. So clearly the indicators are all going to be high. The relative strength, your stochastic, your MACDs are clearly going to be at the top because obviously it's gone up. It follows the price action. So, for instance, let's say you're going down here. This is a strong buy. You sold short. Comes down here, it'll say buy, neutral, sell, strong sell. You're thinking of taking profit and buying. So as it says strong sell, it might sound a bit ridiculous. Don't say strong buy means a strong sell. I'm just giving you how it works. It's lagging. So now it starts bumping up. As it's going up, it's going to turn from a strong sell to basically, it will go over here, make it easier for it. Strong sell to a sell, to a neutral, to a buy, to a strong buy. You're thinking maybe to take profit here or even selling it short because it's a bit overcooked, a bit high, etc. But until it comes off, then the lagging indicators respond to the price action and start changing their tune. So clearly, I don't need to look at a strength indicators, and it's going to be around about 70%, because clearly it's gone up. So the strength will be up, obviously. That's why support resistance is very much more important. When you see the ceiling, we don't know it's going to break through or not. Most of the times it doesn't, unless a very strong, powerful momentum for fundamental reasons. Often as profit taking, it comes back. Okay. But they are useful. I particularly like the pivot points because they do give you air support resistance for you, short term as well. Put on a daily, and they haven't done for you. We can do it ourselves in the trade room. I get that. It's an extra backing for you. And sometimes you might want to put the 4 hour and do a 5 hour on there and do a shorter term trade for support resistance, or even a 2 hour or something, if you get the idea, or a longer term, a weekly, up to you. So you might say, I've worked it out to buy or sell this one, but I might go and look at the 4 hour one just to say, I might get a bit of resistance there. I might cut my position. You don't have to completely close it unless you've got 1 micro. Obviously, 1 micro is the minimum. If you've got more than 1 micro, you might want to close part of your position and then let the other run, or you might close it entirely, and if it breaks through, go in again. But that's a shorter term area of support resistance within your trading program or strategy. Does that make sense? Are you with me? So I'll give it slightly more clearer. Let's say you've got a TP up here. Let's say we're going long and your stop loss is down here. You've already modified it up, so now you're in profit. And you might see there on the shorter term pivot point, there's a bit of a shorter term pivot point of a resistance there. You might think, well, maybe make it there. Maybe I'll take profit there if it breaks through going again, or half my position. So let's say you've got 4 micros, you can bank 2 of them, let the other 2 run, or bank it completely, or ignore it and go through. It gives an little bit of extra help. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, well, please say so. If it does, please say so. Any comments and all that? Because I think you might find it quite useful. Any comments, guys, or are you still a bit bewildered? Petro, good stuff. Hope you learned something in Nonto, because you Nontobeko, which is obviously first time I think with us, as far as I know. So I hope you're picking stuff up. I promised you faithfully, guys, Nontobeko guys, you won't learn the piano in 5 minutes, and you will not learn this in 5 minutes. If you want to make a success of this, you've got to return to the training room until it starts falling into place. Ask Zeph or Tebo or some Petro, the others who come fairly regularly. Hey, Petro, you've only been coming for a week or two. Would you say you've learned quite a bit in the time being? Not just saying because I'm looking for compliments, I'm saying to encourage the new guys to stick it out. If you don't think so, then warn them off. Quite open. Don't have to insult me, but I don't want to have to BS. Oh, no, it's wonderful. Behind the backs, all the rubbish it is. We're trying to help these guys, okay? Okay, so you won't learn it in one lesson, one training room visit, so stick it out and come in. So learn a bit about pivot points, and you can put it, search the website and charts and pinning all that sort of thing. Remember, this is very important. Tongue in cheek, just get it here, guys. This is very important. If the analysis disagrees with me, they are wrong. Remember that. Just kidding. Thanks. You're supposed to Sephora. You're a star. Afternoon set is supposed to be about your shares. Because remember, shares open up the street. We talk about everything else, but I didn't find one, to be honest. Good question. Shares, remember, is a different risk reward calculator, and you can't modify, enter, close, do anything outside 3:30 to 10:30 at night. A lot of guys come in and say, something wrong with your system. I tried to close my Google share. Well, you can't, because it's 3:30, 10:30 is open. That's the only time we can do anything. Close the weekends. Everything else is round the clock. Closed at weekends. Remember that. Oh, you will do Nonto. In fact, you have an interest and you want to do that, you will. Encourage your sister, I believe Zanelli is your sister, to come through a course as well. Also mention to guys, those who can't miss it or whatever because they're doing something else, go to the portal, go down to the bottom of the menu, you'll see social media. These are all recorded live on YouTube. So if you miss it, you go to the YouTube and sit through it again. Fast forward it when I go on too much. That's the beauty of it. You can fast forward it because it's not live. Right, so there we are. Okay, shares, that's right. Apple and these earnings came out, jumped around. I mentioned earlier on, Meta earnings were down, battling a bit Meta. So if you'd shorted Meta, you have the biggest smile from here to the bloody Limpopo, because look at that, it opened at $30 down. That's what, about 25% down on opening. So if you go on short there, you'll be fine. Now, shares, you don't have to buy one share. You don't have to buy two shares. You can buy 1.5. Both of the very expensive shares, not many very expensive shares left. You can go 0.5. But remember, the position size is completely different on shares. Let's say we didn't know about this. Let's go back. Let's say you decided to have a short yesterday, right? And you put your stop there. That's $9 a buck. You see 9006? That is $9. So your risk would be $9 per share. So if you can afford 160 Rand or $9, your volume would be 1.0, not 0.01. You're used to that in Forex, I know. 0.1's, no, it'll be 1.0, don't forget. If you can afford to risk 320 Rand or $18, then you go 2 or 320. However, you might only be able to risk 13 or $14, then you go 1.5 shares. So you can split them. Nice to know. Right, when you're dealing with shares, there is a brokerage of 0.02% of exposure. Remember the exposure, if you've got one share, that's $100 exposure. So 0.2% of that in, 0.2% out. So that would be about 20 cents in, 20 cents out would be a brokerage per share. 40 cents American per share on that one, just so you know. Right, Baba, I want to short. I think try and get a better price. I want to short it though. What's the Nasdaq doing? Because it's part of the Nasdaq. Remember the Nasdaq tech stock area. Yeah, I think it might come off a bit. Just have a bit unsure of it. I just want to get a better price. Sorry, wrong one. Bye-bye. Yeah, if it's closer up this sort of level, maybe 70 bucks, I'll be looking to short it. So you can get a better price. Might miss the trade though. That's the only problem. Might miss the trade, but a better price. But thanks, Sephora. Brilliant for reminding me. Okay, but I explained about costs and times of opening and closing. Don't forget that. And do not use this calculator on it. That is useless on here. Use the one in your LMS. I think it comes under resources. I don't have access to it, don't need it, obviously. But for the learners, if it comes under resources, you log into your LMS. Stock market for an educational package. Okay, if you go to class and just ask them, they'll sort it out for you. I can copy and paste, I don't bother with it, to be honest, don't need to, it's quite simple. Let's take another one. Let's take a Baba. We'll do Baba. What else? If we want to short it here, where do I put the stop up here? That's $6. So I know it's $6 per share is my risk. Simple as that. I don't want to risk, let's say, that's about 100 Rand a share. I don't want to risk 1,000 Rand to get 10 shares or 5 shares or whatever it is I want to risk. Simple as that. Hope that's all clear. But if you can see one Sephora, anybody out there, we'll certainly have a look at it. But don't forget, shares are different to Forex, different to indices. Remember, index makes up a whole bunch of shares. It's the average or mean price of all those shares, like the Dow, the Hang Seng, the IBEX, or whatever you mentioned, which is the Spanish one, which nobody seems to trade, but you've got if you want it. And then you've got, of course, the commodities like oil and gold and whatever. Okay, all clear. Good stuff. All right. Apple, what's Apple doing? I think the earnings were a little disappointing. So came off a bit. Will it continue? You want to stop up there, sell it down to here. It's a possibility of, yeah, it's a possible one here on Apple, but it might bounce. There's a bit of resistance here. Prefer to get it here. Stop up there, actually, to be honest. Stop above these two guys and take it down here. So maybe we'll get something tomorrow, going into the weekend. Remember, shares can be a bit slow. You might be in there for a few days. BA, taking a bit of a jump. To be honest, some good earnings must have come out, because I'm a little bit surprised, because the cost of fuel going up, as we know, it's now nearly $95 a barrel on the Brent. And they don't fly on that oil, by the way, my friend, not petrol. They have got aviation gas oil, which is an even higher form. And they use a lot of it flying, trust me. So I'm a little bit surprised that the earnings were good. I would have thought BA would come back. So actually, to be honest, I think this is a sell. It's in the sell zone. Remember, everyone, non-tobacco, everyone, you must have the 200. Simple, quite simple. Go there, indicators, go to your trend, go to moving average, and put in 50. Color it, if you like my color, blue, and make it a thicker line. Make sure it's simple, so change that in simple. And then OK it, and do the same for the 200. If you like the 10, do the same for the 10. And then make sure you save it, like I've shown you. Don't forget, save it. Okay? Then, now, it's a filter as well as support and resistance. So, buy zone, neutral, sell zone. We're in the sell zone. Popped up. Remember, this only opened up the street. This is only an hour and a half old, this candle. So, though it's a daily count, only an hour and a half old, you know, half the street. I see some downside on this one. The stop up there, that's about $9. Maybe you take it down to think about here. That will give you a risk reward. So, to be honest, Sephora, I actually do see a share, and I point out, I see a short on this one. We had one the other day, and I think some guys took it or took profit. I don't know what they did with it anyway. But what about this? Those right in this one, I do quite like it if you want to do it. I'm going to put the stop up here. just above here. And I'm going to put the TP here. And that will give you about 1.6, something that's good enough. So 151 and 141, you're looking at $9 a share, and 125 cents is your TP. You can see it, and then you can work it out. Anyone do this? If you do, I'll put it down. Any questions on it? Please do it. Look at the longer term. I don't normally do 4 hours on shares, just a bit short term. We call it swing trading, often a little bit longer. The weekly one, look, sellers come in. The daily, some sellers are coming in. 4 hour, some sellers are coming in. The hour, same story. So yeah, I quite like it. So as I said, it's $9 a share. So which is 100, make it 160, make it 160 rand a share. $9 or 160, depending what currency you're in, and then you can work it out. I don't shout because I know what's in your account, Rebecca, so I'm going to tell everybody, but just work out. I would say risk about 3% on, because you got a little bit more, work 3%. Guys who got under $5,000 will have to start work out about 5%. Guys, $2,000, you'd have to go in 10%. Anything smaller, you're wasting your time. But the guys are more than that, 3%. Okay, so 3% of whatever your balance is there. If you got above, shall we say, $500, working 3%, divide 9 into that figure, and that'll give you shares. And if it comes into, let's say, I don't know, 8.7, you can put in 8.7 if you want, or you can put 9 or 8 if you want. But you can do a fractional if you want. So that's all clear. So it's $9 a share, and there your SL's it's 151, and TP is coming off through speech. So do you want to do it? Got Sephora's happy. Anybody else? At least got one out for the afternoon trading. It's moving as we speak, so anyone want to do it? I need more than one person. Sephora's happy. Anybody won't want to join it? Do you want to try it, Monto? Montebecco? Anybody? Sudden sound of silence here. Remember the song, The Sound of Silence? I'll give it a few more moments to see if any yeses come up. If not, we won't do it. Nobody wants to do it. I can't believe it. Let's have a quick check what the dollar's doing. Starting to go back up again. It's all over the place. Starting to go back up again. Oh, bloody hell. Marvellous. Good for gold because we shorted it. Yield's still a bit down. So maybe get a bit of recovery. Let's have a look at our dollar instruments again. This dollar slightly above, haven't much reaction yet. It might have been out of that anyway, probably same NZD. Slightly above entry as well. It might come off a bit. So, okay, now that's a good point. If you didn't do this one, some guys weren't there this morning. So if you didn't do the this one, you can go in on this one if you want to do it, that is. I use the same stop loss as this morning at 59.20. And the TP was 57.10. Okay. Good risk reward at 2.29, 114 rand. That's what, about $6? Yeah, about $6. Is that right? 6 8 of 48. Yeah, it's about $6 or 110 odd rand per 0.01. If you want to short that one, the guys have missed it. Okay, there you are. Just wait for you to put that down. Okay, if you got that, there you are. Come back to it if you want. Got the figures down here anyway from this morning. Anything happening on the US dollar yen? It's come off quite a bit, but it might hold there. I think if you took profit earlier on today, I think you can have another go at this. I think it's come back. I think you can have another stab at it. We got in today at 145.68, targeting 150. And you got the 149. I think most of you might have taken profit. So if you want to go in again, you can. Same stop loss and TP as before. Do you want me to put it up again? Stop loss and TP for buying this? You need to move on this if you want to do it. You need a yes or something. If you don't, I'll assume you don't. So I'll give you a moment just to write a yes if you want to do it. Okay, right. Use the same stop loss and TP as this morning, which was 144.17. Quite a wide one. It's nicely out of the way. And TP 150, we'll stick with 150. Let's see, it's about $200 a micro because the stop's out of the way. But if you want to do that one, it's 200 Rand a micro or about $12 a micro. Okay, Philip, thanks very much for joining. So if you want to enter this one, you missed out. If you made a nice profit this morning of 100 pips, you want to get out and do it again, why not? There it is, you can buy in again. Dollar's starting to go up again. So NZD can enter, and this one as well, if you want. Okay, moving on to the next guy, Aussie dollar. Do we want to chase that one again? No, I still see a short on this one. I'll just stop up here, put the stop up here. So if you want to do this one, I'll put the stuff up for you. AUD USD, short. That would be the stop loss would be 0.6555 and the TP 0.6340, same as this morning, 6340. There we are. It's not a bad one either. If you want to put a slightly wider stop, you can, but that one is $100 a micro. So remember, it's different position size. That's not one size fits all. You might have 3 or 4 micros in this one and 2 on the NZD, also on the US dollar yen, because it's a wider stop. So you work it out. 100 into whatever you're paired to risk will give you your position size. So there's another attempt at the ones we did this morning. Gold you should be out at. Leave gold alone. We'll have another look tomorrow. Bounced off a bit, maybe not. Should just send it again down. Okay. The Nasdaq, what's that happening there? It's coming off again. Good stuff, which should be good for the S&P. Yeah, it's starting to come back off again. That's good. So if you didn't do the S&P this morning, you want to do it, I'll put that up quickly for you if you want it. S&P, we got the stop loss in at 39.30. TP got at 3665. So it's fairly wide stop. I like it. Have a wider stop. If you find it a bit too wide, I have no problem with that, and bring it down a bit. Maybe a little bit there. We can bring it down there if you want. And there, if you want to do that, just a little bit closer, not that close, a little bit wider. Yeah, make it 3925. Don't make it around 3925. There we are. That's only 165 a micro. That's about $9 or 165 a micro. So the S&P as a short if you want that as well. So we've got a few trades you on if you want to take them before you can go in. Not so bad. Happy. Can JPY. I think too late to chase that one. If you're in, clearly you've modified the stop. You're doing that's too late to chase. That ship has definitely sailed. Okay, that's definitely sailed. We got in at 107.28. So modified your stop. It got to 108 just now. I thought there'd be some profit taking pullback. It has, but it's fairly limiting. So it came back down to here actually, and then it jumped back up again. So that's fine. That's why you modify your stop 70 max to keep it out of the way. Don't be stopped out, it goes back up again. So you should still be on board with a modified stop. You're laughing. If you didn't attend this morning, don't join it now. It's too high. Okay. Okay. All good, guys. Any question before we pack it up till tomorrow morning? Anything else, or are you all good? The ones are still with us, not shot off to cook supper or load shedding. A habit of people coming quite late. Don't know going to try and achieve coming this late. 4 to 5:30. Joining now. I don't see the point, but anyway. Okay, Tebo, brilliant. You're learning well. I'm glad to hear that. Good stuff. Okay, guys. Well, we'll just wrap it up then. It's just coming up past. We're all good. We've got some trades out. We visit tomorrow, see how they're going. Maybe find a couple of new ones going into the weekend. Okay. Good. See this good stuff. I think you're in Botswana, if I'm right. Okay, guys, I'll just stop the share. These guys are still joining, probably very slow internet. Okay, Mr. Obed, is that correct? Mr. Obed. Okay, guys, Pete, of course it's Pete, of course it's Pete, yeah, I forgot, Pete's quite a common name, I know, just looking at, of course it's Pete Mayer, eh? Okay, guys, right, hope you learned some stuff there, Pete. Hope it's coming right for you. And yeah, those can make it tomorrow. I shall see you then. Cheers, guys. Thanks.